It's the Riot Podcast, the Thursday, November 2nd edition. Today in the show, we will get to a mom fighting her son's ex-girlfriend in like a real fight.
An MMA cage match.
Yeah, like a serious fight. How would you feel?
We also talk about Marvel's new plan to save the franchise.
Oh, it's a bright one.
They may be bringing back your favorite dead characters.
Yeah, I don't know how they devised this, but you get to hear what we think and to see. Maybe you can let us know what you think as well at 8772 RadioU. Finally, we find out about a name that's banned in Spain, even if you're a Duke. And that's the show.
And we'll catch you guys soon.
Catch you next time.
You won't hear a show like this anywhere else. And that's probably for the best. The worst of the riot. Radio U.
Did you know in Spain, I love that they do this, that they still have dukes. You don't think about, like, I kind of wish we still had dukes. I guess we never had dukes.
We've never had a duke or a duchess.
No,
I believe it's the other way. Yeah.
But it's cool. It would be cool to be, if I could pick like a title, if I could be Duke Hudson, Archduke of whatever, of Radio U, that'd be cool, right?
Yeah, that would be a cool name.
So in Spain, they have dukes. And one of the dukes just recently had a baby. Very exciting. He and the Duchess. And they gave their baby a name. After they gave their baby the name, they come to find out that the name is illegal and they're not allowed to name the baby the name they gave it. So I know what you're thinking. What's the name? Can I even say it on the radio?
Yeah, can you say it?
Yeah, get ready. The name that was illegal: Sophia, Fernanda, Dolores, Cayetana, Teresa, Angela, De la Cruz, Michaela, Del Santissimo, Sacramento, Del Perpetuo, Socorro, De la Santissima, Trinidad, y de todos los santos. And now I know what you're thinking. What was illegal about that name?
It's too long, obviously. It's a waste of everybody's time.
You nailed it. Figured it out.
I mean, it's
right
17 words.
It's 25 words. So
they couldn't pick one?
They couldn't narrow it down.
So they just said, you know what? We'll just name her all the names we came up with.
Yeah. They went to the grocery
list.
aisle. They said, how can I decide what kind of noodles to get? Let me just slide the whole shelf into my cart.
They asked everyone they know to give them a name.
Yeah.
And then they used every single one of them.
They didn't want anybody to feel bad. We don't want Grandma to feel left out. She suggested...
Santissimo.
Yeah, De La Santissimo. We can't leave that out. But we also can't leave out Aunt Shelley, who suggested Michaela. So I guess we'll just put them all in. Yeah, too long. Too long of a name. What do you, sometimes you wonder, what are you setting the child up for?
Failure.
Yeah, what is that child?
But if you're a Duke, I guess your kid's probably pretty set.
Yeah, you'd think, right? I don't know. If you're like a Duke and you're not a Duke in England, you're a Duke in Spain, and you're not even like a well-known Duke, maybe there's not that much money in being a Duke.
How long is too long for a name?
I don't know. Do you know anybody that has more than first, second, third, like more names than that?
Well, you think about, there's people that have like 2 middle names.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I think I might know somebody that maybe had 3.
Really?
That might be the most. Like 3 middle names, so like 5 total.
I've never seen something like that before.
Yeah, I think that's the most. That feels like definitely a top limit. If you have 5 names in total, that feels like anything else other than that is really superfluous and unnecessary.
Yeah, that seems like a lot.
Well,
because you think about, too, you're only going by one name. No one's calling you more than one thing.
Yeah. What would they say to this girl when she's in trouble? By the time they finally spit all this out, She would forget what she was even in trouble for.
She would have all these names, and she would go by a nickname.
Yeah.
They would be
Yeah,
like,
one not even on the list.
they wouldn't even really be any of these. That's what would happen.
Yeah. Now we know. 25 words is definitely, that's over the limit.
Couple too many.
Nobody does it better. The Riot Radio U.
We talk about space every so often on this show. I always feel like I have to be the supporter for space here because we have to go through, you have to jump through a lot of hoops. There has to be a lot of trial and error. And it's a lot of hard work accomplishing things in space. It's uncharted territory. And I feel like everybody else is so uninterested. And Isaiah is here to claim that people just don't know about space. Even what we think we know, we don't know. And so, no, go ahead.
I found the survey yesterday
Yeah.
that states this very thing. That people like space
Mhm.
and they're fascinated by it. But even some of the most basic space facts,
Uh-huh.
people don't have down. So I'm here to see if you would consider yourself a basic space aficionado
Yeah. Oh, I'm a space head.
or maybe a little more advanced. So we got some pretty easy space questions.
All right. Let's hear it.
Let's kick it off with this one. What planet
Uh-huh.
is the smallest planet?
Hmm.
And obviously, we're not counting Pluto
See, I was going to say, clearly it would be Pluto.
because Pluto's not a planet.
Yeah, the great space debate of our time is Pluto a planet? And although that's one area where I must disagree with the scientists because I believe it is. But other than that, the smallest planet is Mercury.
That is correct.
Aha!
58% of U.S. Americans were aware
Mm-hmm.
that Mercury is the smallest planet.
Well, probably the other 42% said Pluto.
What about the number of planets in our solar system?
Yet again, this is a tricky question because it would be 9 if Pluto were rightly called a planet. However, it's not, so it's 8.
That is correct.
See, they don't call me a spacehead for nothing.
Next question. How would you describe the moon's shape?
Circular?
You and 84% of Americans
Uh-huh.
unfortunately mistakenly believe that the moon is round when it's actually egg-shaped.
In which way does the egg face?
You got to think it's up and down, right? There's no way it's side to side.
What if it's like,
Or it spins.
what if like the more pointier egg shape of the egg is
it's
facing away? There has to be that, right? It's like on
pointing
its
at
side.
us and away from us?
It has to be.
Causing an
It
optical
has to
illusion.
be. I don't know. Yeah. Yeah, because it always looks round.
It does. But it's so
So-
far away, how can you tell what's round, you know?
Yeah, I guess so. I guess. But you know, that this just further proves my point of why we need to go to the moon. Why we need to keep exploring it. And
Yeah, I agree.
educating.
Put me on the moon. Somebody needs to go there. How about this one?
We haven't even taken a picture that showcases its egg-shaped nature.
We haven't even taken a picture yet on the moon that I believe.
Yeah.
How about this one? How many times a year does Earth orbit the sun?
That's a trick question. It's one, right? That's how we know when it's been a year, right?
But 31% of Americans think the Earth orbits the sun 365 times a year.
Yeah. See, the work of a spacehead is never done.
Some other good fun ones.
Mm-hmm.
50% of Americans didn't know that the moon orbits the Earth.
What is this, the Middle Ages?
Also, 12%, this is one of my favorite ones, thought the moon emits light
That's elementary.
when it's obviously just the
Elementary school.
sun.
Yeah, it's reflection.
reflecting.
Yeah.
So
Come on.
hopefully if you're sitting in your car right now, you got all those right. Or even some of them right. If you got
Yeah.
none of them right,
If you're
You shouldn't care about space.
one out of like what, 6 people? 1 out of every 6 people that knows the moon is egg-shaped, apparently.
You know, there's someone sitting in their car that was like, it's egg-shaped. I knew that.
Yeah. Pat yourself on the back.
This is Radio U's Worst of the Riot.
Some more tech news. This is big news for cheaters. Google has launched some new features that make it a whole lot easier to cheat on math, geometry, and even physics questions. It's now possible in Google to type in a potentially complicated math equation into the search bar, and it will be able to provide you with the answer to that. But it goes even further. Check this out. You lens your homework if you've got like like something that maybe couldn't be typed in easily. You can use Google Lens, and it will provide you a step-by-step explanation and solution to whatever it is, whatever this equation is that you need solved. They also found that this works. The new tools will work even with word problems. So it's not just, it's not just algebra or whatever. You type in word problems, which previously they say has been particularly complicated, difficult for, like search engines to figure out. But now with the large language models, easy as pie. It's way easier now to cheat at your homework.
Which I think for many students is exciting.
It is.
I don't know how I feel about cheating. Homework-wise.
With this?
Just in general. I have such a mixed feelings about it. Because in my mind, I know that I was in school a while ago.
Yeah.
But I have not reached the level yet where I'm like, you shouldn't cheat. Because everyone cheats.
Yeah. I just don't know where you draw the line when it comes to like, particularly math-related things. If you get to the right answer, whether you do it in your mind, whether you do it on paper, whether you use a calculator, whether you type it into Google, there's one right answer, and if you get it, does it really matter how you get it?
Because they want you to understand why, like how to get it.
Yeah.
And why that's the right answer.
Some people say we talked about this earlier this week of why do they make you write out questions and show your work and stuff. Some people say that's because it's showing you problem solving. Well, I think I'm solving the problem by typing it into Google and getting the answer.
They want to show that you know how you got there.
Yeah.
And in my mind, I'm just like, it's such a hard question of obviously cheating is wrong in school.
But who makes the rules of if this is cheating?
And when is cheating gone too far?
Yeah. Well, because
if you're the person who says, I never cheated in school, like, congratulations on your success.
Yeah.
Your next door neighbor that you're working with right now, if you're a doctor and you're getting ready to do a surgery, the nurse that's handing you the tools could very well have cheated her way through all the way through college. And the doctor that comes in the room after you could have very well cheated his way all the way through college. And guess what? Everybody's doing just fine.
We've, there's doctors will admit this, right? That they, like, before surgeries or, like, for various things, they'll look up stuff because
you
don't have it all memorized. Is that cheating? But all that said, let me look at the flip side of this.
Flip it. Yes.
Yeah. Let's play that this is wrong to do this.
Devil's advocate. I like it.
And I guess this doesn't really say that it's wrong, but what if Google gets it wrong? And you don't know enough to know that Google got it wrong. And so you just put some whatever Google tells you to put. That's a foible, you could say.
And now you're incision in my brain.
Yeah.
You killed me.
Right. Yeah.
I'm gone.
You can't always trust it. But can you trust it more than you trust yourself in certain instances?
Good question.
I think it's all debatable. I guess it's good to have this as a tool in your toolbox.
I'm never going to say that you can't use this.
If you're teaching math class.
If I was teaching math class, they wouldn't learn a thing.
Hi there.
This worst of the riot.
Crank that up.
Radio U.
I think what people would agree, by and large, not well at Marvel. Not as well as it used to be, which is a high bar. But the Marvel Cinematic Universe, obviously, at its height, you're talking Avengers, Endgame, an unstoppable force. It felt like nothing could take it down. And then since then, it's been taken down. But according to a new report from Variety, things now have gotten so bad at Marvel as they anticipate the release of the movie The Marvels, which is tracking to underperform big time at the box office. Things are getting so bad that they are considering some drastic options. Obviously, no surprise that they're working through the ideas of what they could do to get rid of Jonathan Majors, as he's a very controversial figure at the moment with his domestic violence incidents going on, as Kang the Conqueror, who they built this entire phase around. That's a possibility, but even more wild is that they may try to bring back the original Avengers just to try to add some juice back in to the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Is that concerning? If they did that, would that be problematic to you? What are your thoughts?
Problematic, right off the rip.
And
as I'm reading here, the two they would consider. We've got. I'm just saying, if you haven't finished through all of the Marvel movies yet, maybe pause for a second, because I'm about to do some spoilers. If you haven't finished the Phase 1 and Phase 2 and Phase 3, all those ones, get ready.
The movies that came out like 3, 4, 5 years
exactly.
ago at this point.
If you were planning on watching them, step aside. RDJ, Iron Man, they're considering bringing back.
Mm-hmm.
Scarlett Johansson, Black Widow, they're considering bringing back.
Mm-hmm.
They're not considering Chris Evans, who plays Captain America, as he has moved on to other projects, apparently, since 2019's Avengers Endgame. You cannot bring back Iron Man and Black Widow, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Because you killed them off in such epic ways.
Yeah, it would feel like, you know what? I think if they did that, it would feel like a pretty big slap in the face to everybody. Because you would just be showing that what you get so emotionally attached, and then when the characters die, it actually means something. But if when they die, it doesn't mean anything
doesn't mean
anymore,
a thing.
You're going to make everybody already isn't very attached to the characters you're popping out now, because we don't have as much history with them and whatever. I can't, can I really explain why we don't feel as attached to Captain Marvel as some of the other characters? Maybe just because her movie wasn't as good, but
we just need more time. We need more. We just got to give it time.
Mm-hmm.
Like when the first two Thor movies came out, those are not great Marvel movies.
And if you killed Thor in the second movie, it wouldn't have felt as good.
Yeah.
It wouldn't have
felt as right.
Yeah, that's right.
Like it would now. If you kill Thor now, that would be a big deal. Heartbreaking.
Yeah.
You kill him after the first two movies, everyone's like, well, I wasn't really all about Thor anyway.
Yeah.
We didn't start to love him until like Ragnarok in the later movies.
Mm-hmm.
So we just got to give it time.
Yeah. I think, but yeah, you start bringing back characters from the dead, which I guess they're already doing with Wolverine, Hugh Jackman. And the multiverse gives them a license to be able to do that in a way that makes sense, even in a whole world that doesn't make any sense. But you just can't kick everybody's legs out from under them and be like, yeah, remember how sad you were when Iron Man died? That doesn't actually matter at all.
Here he is.
Yeah.
We brought him back, and I love Iron Man.
Mm-hmm.
And I would love more Iron Man, but it just doesn't feel right to bring him back.
Yeah, the truth is, you got to make you just got to stop worrying about bringing back in old characters and make the characters you have make the movies better. They've just not been good.
They just got to get the storylines down. Nobody knows what the storyline is yet because we haven't seen enough of Kang. If he's going to be the villain,
mm-hmm.
we haven't seen enough of him yet.
Radio U's Worst of the Riot podcast.
Imagine, put yourself in the shoes of this guy who he went through a bad breakup with a girlfriend, an ex-girlfriend now at this point. And it all led to this ex-girlfriend and the guy's mom actually having a real-life MMA cage fight. 50-year-old, hold on, let me try to pronounce this one. Malgorzada. We'll just go by her first name.
Mel.
I
think it's Mal, but
Mel. She's 50. She's the mom. She fought and defeated Gosia Magical in a cage fight, who is 19 years old. The mom defeated the ex-girlfriend. First of all, that's impressive. A 50-year-old knocking out a 19-year-old. But secondly, how would you feel if your ex-girlfriend and your mom were so at odds that they had a MMA cage fight?
She must have done him so dirty, you know?
Yeah.
Did she cheat on him? What happened here? How did it get to this? There's a big crowd, too. That's the surprising part.
Yeah.
Most fans were pulling, believe it or not, for the 19-year-old.
Yeah.
For the girlfriend.
The ex-girlfriend. Yeah, I don't know. There's got to be more of a backstory. It's all, this is in Poland. It's all like Polish stuff. So, and what I have here is really a breakdown of the fight, which is not what I want. I want to know why. I want to know why they hated each other so much. They were fighting. But I just I get it, right? If this gal does you really dirty, and you maybe want some revenge, you cannot physically do that. Very wrong, obviously, as a man. But is it really vindicating if your mom, does that make you feel better if your mom knocks her out? That's, to me, I would feel embarrassed. You know what I'm saying?
You would feel embarrassed as to why?
I would feel embarrassed that this whole situation was going down and that my mom had to go out here and fight this battle for me.
Well, think about this.
I appreciate my mom's support, but not needed in this way.
Daniel, the boyfriend.
Yeah, we haven't even name checked him yet.
Yeah, known online as Daniel Magical.
What a name.
Rose to fame for the videos he shared on social media because he was a fighter as well. And then before the fight, most fans were pulling for his ex-girlfriend. And she had already had some fighting experience as well. And she's 30 years younger.
Yeah.
I think this
got
is
rocked.
You got to think for the mom, this is a big win. You know?
When was the last time she was this proud, you think, of herself?
Like, when did she accomplish something like a knockout?
Yeah.
Last time she accomplished something so great that would make her feel so young. This would make you feel young again.
Yeah, so
fighting
vibrant.
a 19-year-old, knockout, boom. Still got it.
So if you ever go through a bad breakup, you want your mom and your ex to get in the ring?
I would say no.
Because your mom would lose or because it would be embarrassing?
I wouldn't. My mom's not really a fighter. I don't think it'd be a good idea for her. She's also a little lady.
Yeah.
I don't know what her odds would be in the ring, but I wouldn't want to see her get punched in the face either.
I don't know.
I think if my ex-girlfriend punched my mom in the face, I would just hate her more. There's no way you leave that arena with figuring anything out other than I hate you more now.
Yeah.
I always say you and your ex should end on good terms. These are the worst terms.
It doesn't get much worse than this.
That you can end on. You talk about getting anything back from your ex, ever ending on good terms. If her and your mom go in a bout in the ring for 3 rounds and they're punching each other in the face, there's no way you guys are going to like each other after that.
She's keeping your hoodie.
Yeah, you're not getting that back. I can tell you that much.
Wasn't that a great Riot clip? While you're here, you should watch more of our videos and subscribe so you don't miss what we do next.